Hey everyone, today in this video I would like to talk about how I did research and how I can give you some tips about my experience and my journey throughout my experience on doing research during my bachelor's degree and also my master's degree. During my bachelor's degree actually I have completed my capstone project, and also during my master's I have written my master's thesis and also my scientific internship report. They were both really research heavy, and I did a lot of literature review and found some research gaps and filled them. I know that it is really frustrating for you to be able to get things straight when you want to start doing research, and if it's your first time, you don't know the methodology and it's sometimes really frustrating. It might give you some headaches because in my opinion, to do research you have to do some practice. You have to read some papers and spend your time on how to understand them and get them together to create some scientific research paper. And most of the time we cannot understand this in our methodology classes. So I would like to share you some of my tips. So about research gaps, you can find various different research gaps in the literature. And the first one is the knowledge gaps. Knowledge gaps are the research gaps that you can find when we don't have the necessary knowledge or understanding of a specific subject. The second one is conceptual gaps. This type of research gap is the lack of understanding in some of the concepts and also some of the theories. The third one is methodological gaps. So methodological gaps are when we don't have enough information or we don't have the necessary methods to do some research. And the fourth one is data gaps, where we don't have enough data in the research, and because of this there are some research gaps. Fifth one is the practical gaps. So practical gaps are when you don't have enough information about the implementations of some practices in the research. So now I would like to give you my opinions about how to do research and how you can find some research gaps. So in my opinion, the most important thing is first you have to have a really clear understanding about your subject and what you want to do and at least the general idea. Then this will give you a purpose of what you want to do, and you will pursue this, and you will have this in your mind. It will be clear, and it will help you to find a research gap in a faster way. So, and the second thing that I can mention is that, so if you're a beginner and if you are doing research, and if you think that finding a research gap is something huge and you can never do it, if there is a feeling like this, so this is, I think, quite normal, to be honest, because even the saying like research gap is like you are finding some cure to a disease. Yeah, this is also finding a research gap, but you're most of the time in the academy we are not doing this, so we do not find some really big information about a subject. So we are basically trying to find some small details and fill them. So if you continue or if you do some really big breakthroughs, okay, then this is great, but sometimes you can find some small details and fill them. So this is also finding a research gap. So I would like to give an example. So for example, when I was doing my master's thesis, so the research gap that I was addressing while doing my master's thesis was about applying some methods on different parameters. So in a recent research paper, in the same subject, there were some applications of some methods in certain kind of parameters. So these are, for example, the lead times of some spare part demands, right? And what I wanted to do and the research gap that I have found was applying these methods in different lead times, because lead time was an important parameter and it was not implemented in the research. There was no application of these methods in that certain lead times. What I wanted to do is apply these methods in different lead times. So this was my way to fill the research gap. I'm telling you this because it's not a big deal. It is not something that I found and it was the really breakthrough research or anything. Actually, research is cumulative. So you are adding knowledge to the research, you are adding knowledge and you are increasing the amount of knowledge in the world. And this is already big. So you are already contributing. So it doesn't have to be a fancy thing, a fancy detail, a fancy research gap that you have to find. But after some time, you will understand how to do this, and you will have better research skills, and finally maybe you will make a breakthrough. It's also possible, but I would like to just make this video to give you an idea and why you don't need to be worried about research, and why it's not scary, and why you can and everybody can do it. So thanks a lot for seeing this video. I would like to see you in the next videos. Actually, I can also do a video about how to do a literature review, and I can give you some examples, and we can do together and find some research papers and do some literature review. So for now, thank you, and if you have any questions, you can drop your comments and reach to me through my social media accounts. You can also subscribe to the channel to see the other videos that I will post about research and different topics. So thank you and bye.